into the next question. We are obviously not the Judiciary Committee, and that's why I indicated that several committees are going to have to be involved here. But there's several pieces to this issue. There's prevention, better coordinating the services, and obviously, again, in Oregon, we have tried to highlight the relationship between law enforcement and mental health services. And it's sure about time. Of people that were shot and killed by police officers in 2015, 25% displayed signs of mental illness, and more than half of all prison and jail inmates have a mental health problem. So in Oregon, we sought to try to break some new ground here in terms of trying to define a different relationship between law enforcement and mental health. And I'd be curious, maybe we'll work our way the other way. We can start with you, if we might, Ms. Rosenberg. What would be your top priority in building a new, better coordinated relationship between mental health practitioners on the health side and law enforcement?
I think one of the biggest problems you'll hear from law enforcement is, what do they do with someone who clearly has a mental illness? I hear that over and over again. When you read my bio, you talked about my being involved actually in the first mental health court in New York City. I think they get someone clearly having a problem, maybe picked up on the street, maybe the family calls, there's nowhere to go. And I think that's one of the reasons we are so interested in fundamental change, in ensuring that everybody knows where to go. Those services are available 24/7. People who are professionally trained can intervene, and the police aren't left alone. And that's before anyone gets either booked or arraigned.